Okay, it's come time to put some pistons in, and I've got all the rings on all of the pistons, and I have the piston firing on number 1, which means number 1 crankshaft throw is up, number 4 crankshaft throw is up, and number 2 and 3 the crankshaft throw is down. So I've put some assembly lube on the conrod, on the bearing. Now, if you've got new rods, new anything, use the flexi gauge. It's certainly worth doing. Now, for the rings, you have the gudgeon pin here. The gudgeon pin, I'll try and keep that in frame. So the gudgeon pin's going through here. So the number 1 ring, I have the gap down here. Number 2 ring, I go opposite that. And so it's not in line with the gudgeon, it's just off the line of the outside of the gudgeon. Now number 3 ring, it's that cord ring, we can't do anything with it. Number 4, I have just on this side of the gudgeon, and then number 5 I have on the other side of the gudgeon. So 1 and 2 are completely opposite, the gaps are completely opposite. 3 stays where it is, 4 and 5 are completely opposite. So that way any compression coming in, it's got a long way to go to get there. So I like to be very liberal with the oil when I'm putting rings on, or putting pistons in holes. Don't be shy with the oil. Now, I also run a heap around the bore here, and it drips out the bottom, but if I line my pot up properly, I'll be okay. So yeah, lots of oil around the rings. It's just a good thing, gives it a good start in life. So now, if we remember, the number on the conrod goes to the fuel pump. The fuel pump is just here. So if we sit the piston down, as close to straight down the line with the gudgeon pins, I can bring my little ring compressor over. And that bottom ring is in. Now I'll just check the rings have stayed in the same place with me playing with it. Yep, that's good. And we should be able to push that down like that. Now, another thing you can do that I haven't mentioned is if you're not sure you can get the piston down true, as in at 90 degrees, and you think the bolts are going to mark the crank, wrap them in a bit of tape, a bit of insulation tape or something. But that should run down now and push right on to the bearing, or to the crank throw that's sitting down there. So if I put that over there, wind this over, you may be able to see that. The piston won't come out, we have the ring tension to keep it on there. That's the ring compressor falling down. So there we have the number 2 conrod, the numbers facing the fuel pump again, the numbers on this cap facing the fuel pump, and the 2 tags that hold the bearing in. They should be right next to each other. Okay, so let's see if I can, that's right down there. Oh, come on. I need to give that a little bump down. It doesn't seem to want to... Oh, I've probably got a little bit crooked when you stand around where the camera is. There we go. So we'll pop the nuts on there. I'm going to pull that off again, that little bump, and I think the bearing shell dropped down. Just because I had it crooked. And nice and clean. Now, is that lined up properly? Yep, that's lovely. Alright, we'll have another go. I'll try and keep it straight this time. That's better. Okay, we have the two, they're new conrod bolts. We have the new nuts. And at this stage I don't worry too much about tensioning them. I like to do all that together, but I do like to bring them round until you can feel that they've tightened up. And just check that the crank's still turning. That's a good thing. So I'll put the others in. I probably don't need to show you every one. I'll put the others in, and when we come to tensioning it, I'll bring you back for that. Okay, I've got all the pistons in. Now, the engine still turns over nicely. And we checked that the STD, all the pistons are in the same place. And the STD was at the front, if you look at the old pistons. So look, we're happy with that. It turns over well. You can feel the drag of the rings on the bore. Now if we come around under here, this gives us access to the conrods. Now at the moment, number 1 and number 4 are down, so that means that the conrod is easy for us to get to up the top here. So there is oil on the nuts. I'm doing mine to 70 foot-pounds, so I'll just grab my tension wrench, set him to 70. Where are we? Foot-pounds. There we go, just there. Okay, so all we have to do is just tension them up. I've done it by hand, as in just had a ring spanner on them. That feels tight. Let's check this again. Yeah, that's it. We're all good. Now what I like to do after each one is just give it a little bit of a turn. And the reason I do that is if you do one up and it locks up or something like that, well, you know exactly where to go. You don't have to go chasing. So give them a turn. Yep, that's lovely. Now number 2 and number 3 are easy to get to. Little scald. Okay, beautiful. So that's all we'll do in this video is put the pistons in. We've done that, we've put the pistons in, we've tightened the con rods. Don't forget to check with your flexi gauge, your clearance, it's 2 to 3.5 thou. And everything else just looks good. I don't think there's anything more we need to show just there. Roll him back over the top. All our pistons are faced the same way. Now if we roll over this other way, all the numbers on the con rods should be facing the fuel injection pump here. Numbers are there, they're there. And there's the numbers there and there. Okay, take your time with all this, there's no hurry. It's easy to have a look now. So we'll leave it there, we'll pick up when there's something else interesting to do.